We're doing the while loop today. The while loop is one of three controlled structures in Java: for loop, the while loop, and the do while loop. The while loop consists of two important parts. Let's go over the basic structure of the while loop on line 18. We're going to type the keyword while, and then followed by the while is going to be a test expression inside those two parentheses. Now, if that test expression is true, we're going to execute what is between these two brackets. And if that test expression is false, we're going to skip all of that, and then we're just going to move on to the next line of code after the while loop. So you can see here that number is 0, and we're going to say while number is less than or equal to 10, we're going to print out that number, and then we're going to increment that number by 1. So we're going to run it. I'm just going to show you what it does real quick. So as you can see here, it starts off as 0, and it is less than 0, or it is less than 10, so we're going to print out 0, and then we're going to increment it by 1. And now number is 1, and that is less than 10, so we're going to increment it again and print it out, and then so on and so on. And then when we get to 10, we're going to say, is number less than or equal to 10? We're going to say yes. So we're going to print out number, and we're going to make number 11. Now it's going to jump back up here. Now number equals 11, so it's going to say, is 11 less than or equal to 10, which is false. So we're going to skip this whole block of code, and we're going to move on to the next line of code after the while loop. So with number, you always have to remember that we have to increment it, or it's going to be an infinite loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out this increment, and we're going to run it, and I'll show you what it gets stuck on. So it's just going to repeat. So it's just going to repeat 0, 0, 0 the whole time, because we're never incrementing number. It just stays 0, which is always less than or equal to 10. So we're going to stop that. We're going to put that back in there. And now it increments. So it's going to increment and jump back to the expression. And it's just going to keep on going until that expression is false. Basically, it traps itself in that loop until that expression is proved to be wrong. So we're going to do a little input validation with the user. So line 25 here, we created a scanner object, and we created a pick number, which the user is going to pick. And we're going to ask the user to enter a number 1 through 100. And then we're going to read in the next integer that the user types. And now here's the expression in the while loop. Now what we don't want is a number less than 1 or greater than 100, because we asked the user to enter number 1 through 100. So what we're going to say is we're going to use the keyword while, and then we're going to say while pick number, which is the user inputted number, is less than 1, or pick number is greater than 100, we want to ask the user to enter another number that is 1 through 100. And so then we're going to read in this same exact pick number variable, and we're going to read in the next integer. And so what this does is it will read in another integer, and it'll go back to the expression, and it's going to try to prove this wrong again. Now if this is true, it's going to ask the user again to enter another number that is 1 through 100. This is what we call input validation. And so we want that certain number to be 1 through 100, and then we want to show that number. So I'm going to run it for you real quick. So we're going to do enter number 1 through 100. We're going to prove it wrong, so it's going to be -1. It's going to ask, please enter another number. And so we're going to go greater than 100. Now it's just going to keep on asking that until we enter a number that is greater, or until we enter a number that is 1 through 100. So we're going to enter 55, and it's going to say the number is 55. Once again, that is input validation, and in a lot of programs you will use that because you don't want the user to input something wrong. So we're going to go over the basic while loop structure one more time to end the video. So what we have is the keyword while, followed by the while is going to be a test expression, which is going to be true or false. And then inside the brackets is going to be the block of statements that's going to be executed if that Boolean expression is true. If it is false, we're going to move on past the while loop and execute whatever is after the while loop. Just remember that inside the while loop, if the expression is true, you always need to have that increment, or you have to change a variable. That way you never get stuck in an infinite loop. That wraps up the video, and I'll show you the focus points.